After a few insane weeks, the secondary market finally stabilizes, but there are still some strong cards to discuss on this episode of the Magic the Gathering Market Watch. This video is sponsored by Flipside Gaming. Check out flipsidegaming.com for all your gaming needs. Right now, you can order Tarkir Dragonstorm, pre-order Magic the Gathering Final Fantasy, or find a vast number of other great items on their website. Remember, shipping is free in the US if your order is over $100 or consists only of singles. Just look in the description or comment section below for direct links to their site. Hey there, this is John from Heroes and Legends, and welcome to another edition of the Magic the Gathering Market Watch. Like I said in the cold open, prices are much more stable in the secondary market this week. There are various key drivers for the cards moving up in price, but overall we have an interesting variety of different things to talk about today. As always, our lists are based on two pieces of criteria: the percentage change in the value of the cards, as well as the change in the number of sales from week to week. We'll quickly look at the cold cards and then spend a little more time on the cards moving up in price. Quickly before we get started though, just a couple fast things. I do want to say thank you to one of the viewers who gave a super chat during the premiere of last week's video. That is Paul Dodd. Paul, thank you for all your support, being there for the live premiere in the chat, of course for the super chat tip. It really goes a long way. Thank you again, Paul. And I also want to say thank you to one of our silver patrons, that is Cade Browning. Cade, thank you for your support on Patreon. I truly could not do this without viewers like yourself. Thank you so much, Cade. And now, without any further ado, let's get into it. Let's begin with the top 11 coldest cards of the week. I was going to go with 10, but I did see 11 cards that I felt were relevant, so I threw an extra one in. Many of the cards that were heating up over the last few weeks are stabilizing down this week as they try to find their proper price point. Let's get started with number 11, Mox Jasper, down 207 this week to 1905. That is a 10% decrease. This has been on the cold list for a little bit now. A week ago, this was number 6. Last week, it fell to number 11 on our expanded list, and that's where it remains this week. Some of the more expensive Tarkir Dragonstorm cards are dropping now that lots of product is being opened, and that's exactly what's happening here. 2 weeks ago, this was number 15 on the expanded hot list. 1 week ago, it fell to number 17. Last week, it jumped up to number 8, but this week it arrives on the cold list in the 10 spot. Molten Duplication, down $2.52 to $20.35. That's an 11% decrease. This card got really hot recently due to its inclusion in many of the Deadpool trading card commander decks. Now the market is starting to move on, and this, as well as some other cards from those builds, are retracting a little. 3 weeks ago, this one was number 6 on the hot list. 2 weeks ago, it took the top spot. Then 1 week ago, it arrived on the cold list at number 7. Last week, moved up to 5. This week, it drops 4 spots to number 9. It is Determined Iteration, down $2.55 to $22.46. That's a 10% decrease. This is from the Streets of New Capenna, Maestro's Massacre Commander deck, and it's another card that was hot because of its role in Deadpool trading card commander decks. Number 8 is Birthing Pod from New Phyrexia, down $2.99 to $21. That's a 12% decrease. A few weeks ago, some thought that this might become unbanned in Modern. That didn't happen, so the card's cooling off a little. Number 7, Elspeth Stormslayer, down $3.60 to $41.09. That's an 8% decrease. And this is another card from Tarkir Dragonstorm that had a high price point at launch. Last week, this was number 4 on the hot list. This week, it's number 6 on the cold list, Biorhythm. The Onslaught copy is down $3.32 to $16.68. That's a 17% decrease. The 9th edition copy is down $4.45 to $22.94. That's a 16% decrease. Some were speculating that this would become unbanned in Commander, and that didn't happen. In fact, we now know that no more cards will be taking off the ban list in that format for at least the remainder of the year, so this is cooling off. 1 week ago, this was number 3 on the cold list. Last week it was number 2. This week it's down 3 spots to number 5. Ugin, Eye of the Storms, down $4.50 to $45.63. That's a 9% decrease. This is another Tarkir Dragonstorm card that had a very high price point when it was released. Last week, this reserve list card was number 5 on the hot list. This week it arrives on the cold list at number 4, Recurring Nightmare, down $6.38 to $78.93. That's a 7% decrease. This is another card that some were picking up just in case it became unbanned in Commander. It did not. 2 weeks ago, this reserveless card was number 3 on the hot list. A week ago, it checked in at number 11 on the cold list. Last week, it jumped up 7 spots to number 4. This week, it climbs up to number 3. Powder Keg from Urza's Destiny, down $6.96 to $34.99. That's a 14% decrease. This was hot recently, but when the price went up, so did the number of copies for sale. And now, Powder Keg continues to retract. Number 2 is Metal Worker, down $8.94 to $115.01. That's a 7% decrease. This reserveless card got a little dry online in April. This week there are more copies for sale and the price slides back down. And our number 1 cold card this week is Jeweled Lotus. The Commander Legends copy is down $13.09 to $76.91. That's a 15% decrease. The Commander Masters copy is down $14.92 to $70. That's an 18% decrease. Yet another card that some thought would be coming off the Commander ban list. It too remains there. Alright, on to the main event, the top 10 hottest cards of the week. Let's get started with number 10. Meringue River Regent, up $1.61 to $3.63. That's an 80% increase. This Tarkir Dragonstorm card is actually moving up, and that's because it's getting a lot of play. More than most anticipated during the preview season, in fact, hence the price increase. It quickly became a huge card in Standard, appearing in several strong decks in the new meta, including Jeskai Control, Azorius Omniscience Combo, Jeskai Omniscience Combo, Azorius Control, 4-color Control, 4-color Omniscience, and Esper Reanimator. Over in Pioneer, this is appearing in Sultai midrange, plus it's seeing a lot of Commander play in decks both old and new. For example, many players are getting it to upgrade the Tarkir Dragonstorm Temur Roar Commander deck, while others are putting it in fresh builds around a couple of cards from there. Ureni of the Unwritten, and to a lesser degree around the front-facing Commander, Eshki Temur's Roar. Number 9, Zurgo and Ojutai, up $1.63 to $4.41. That's a 59% increase. Tarkir Dragonstorm brought a lot of support for the Dragon creature type, so it's not too surprising to see a card like this moving up. Dragon Commander decks got a lot of new tools, and this appears in many of them. Sometimes you see Zurgo and Ojutai used as commanders, plus it's in the 99 of builds like the Dragon and Tiamat, for example. This also appears in 1v1 dual commander decks around the Dragon, and I have seen some trying Zurgo and Ojutai in some of the standard control builds as well. We'll have to see if that sticks going forward, but right now this is a hot card. Number 8, Fanatic of Ronus, up $1.68 to $10.37. It's a 19% increase. This is a solid commander and 1v1 dual commander card, getting more play now thanks to some cards from Tarkir Dragonstorm. I'm seeing a lot of players getting this to upgrade the Temur Roar commander deck, while others are putting in new builds around Eshki Temur's Roar and Ureni of the Unwritten from there. Additionally, Fanatic of Ronus is appearing in builds around a card from the main set, Betor Kinta All. Number 7, Hidden Gibbons, up $2.17 to $8.74. That's a 33% increase. This one-print wonder gets a little commander play. Sometimes you see it in Kibo Uktabi Prince decks, for example, but the key driver for this spike is the pre-modern format. Control builds like Parallax Replenish have been very strong there, so many decks are now running Hidden Gibbons in their sideboards. And you do see it in sideboards of popular builds there, like Oath, Enchantress, Madness, and more. Up 24 spots this week to number 6, River Pyre Verge, up $2.48 to $10.88. That's a 30% increase. The standard format is a big reason why this card is jumping. There are 4 copies of it in the mana base of Izzet Prowess, which is performing very well in the new meta thanks to a card from Tarkir Dragonstorm, that's Cori-Steel Cutter. Jeskai Control is also doing great currently, and there are 3 copies of River Pyre Verge in that deck. The build runs a bunch of cards from Tarkir Dragonstorm like Dispelling Exhale, Meringue River Regent, Jeskai Revelation, Rediscover the Way, and Shiko Paragon of the Way. Additionally, River Pyre Verge is in other standard decks like 4-color Control, Izzet Tempo, Izzet Aggro, Temur Prowess, and Izzet Control. Over in Pioneer, it's found in Indomitable Creativity builds, Jeskai Control, and Izzet Drake. It's even a one-of in Modern Temur Control. Meanwhile, in 1v1 Dual Commander, you see this in several decks, like the very popular Aragorn King of Gondor builds, and builds around partner commanders Rograk, Son of Roga, and Silas Ren, Seeker Adept. This card is even getting some additional play now in builds around the aforementioned Shiko Paragon of the Way, as well as Narset Jeskai Waymaster. Plus, River Pyre Verge is all over regular Commander, where it appears in Shiko decks as well. Not too long ago, it saw a boost in play there in decks around Captain Howler Sea Scourge. But River Pyre Verge is in a lot of new builds around Tarkir Dragonstorm cards aside from Shiko. Some players are using it to upgrade the mana base for both the Jeskai Striker and Temur Roar commander decks, while others are putting it in fresh builds around Elsha Threefold Master from Jeskai Striker, and Eshki Temur's Roar, as well as Ureni of the Unwritten from Temur Roar. Quickly before we get to the top 5, just a fast reminder, this video is sponsored by Flipside Gaming. Check out flipsidegaming.com for all your gaming needs. Right now, you can order Tarkir Dragonstorm products there, you can pre-order Magic the Gathering Final Fantasy products on their site, or find a whole lot of other great items, both Magic related and otherwise. Remember, if your order is over $100 or consists only of singles, shipping will be free in the United States, and if you're looking for a direct link to their site, just check out the description or the comment section below. I do have links posted in both of those places. And now, without any further ado, let's get into the top 5. Coming in at number 5 is Wall of Shards. The Mystery Booster retail copy, which only comes in foil, is up $1.34 to $8.59. That's a 35% increase. The Cold Snap one is up $2.55 to $9.75. That's also a 35% increase. This has been seeing play in commander decks like Arcades the Strategist, for example, but now Tarkir Dragonstorm has pushed some of the higher toughness, lower power creatures like this one. Many players are getting it to upgrade the Abzan Armor commander deck, while others are putting in fresh builds around the front-facing commander from there, Felothar the Steadfast. To a lesser degree, I'm also seeing some adding Wall of Shards to decks around a card from the main set, Beator Kin to All. Moving up 10 spots this week to number 4, Slick Shot Show Off, up $3.52 to $12.34. That's a 40% increase. This card has been getting a lot of play in multiple formats, but Standard perhaps is having the biggest influence on its price. There, Slick Shot Show Off is found in several builds along with Cori-Steel Cutter from Tarkir Dragonstorm, including the very successful Is It Prowess, as well as Rakdos Aggro, Is It Aggro, Temur Prowess, Jund Aggro, and Jeskai Aggro. Over in Pioneer, Slick Shot Show Off is in more decks with Cori-Steel Cutter, Rakdos Prowess, Boros Prowess, Is It Prowess, and Boros Pia. It's happening in Modern too, where you see Slick Shot Show Off and Cori-Steel Cutter appearing in Is It Prowess and Temur Prowess. In fact, Andrea Mengucci had a lot of success with Temur Prowess on stream this week. Meanwhile, in 1v1 Duel Commander, this is in a few builds, including Lelia the Blade Reforged, as well as Goru Goru and Satoru. I'm even seeing this appearing in new builds around Narset Jeskai Waymaster. Overall though, it's Cori-Steel Cutter that's been pushing Slick Shot Show Off's price. Number 3, Caesar Legion's Emperor, up $4.28 to $15.26. That's a 39% increase. This is the foil copy from the Fallout Hail Caesar commander deck. It continues to be a popular commander, and it's found in the 99 of builds like Ishin 2 Heavens as 1, for example. However, Tarkir Dragonstorm is really pushing Caesar's price this week. Some want it to upgrade the Mardu Surge commander deck, while others want it for fresh builds around 2 cards from there, the front-facing commander, Zergo Stormrender, and to a lesser degree, Nuriv Crackling Vanguard. Caesar Legion's Emperor is also appearing in commander decks around a couple cards from the main set, Zergo Thunder's Decree, and Nuriv Heart of the Storm. Number 2, Helm of the Ghastlord, up $7.22 to $8.92. That's a 425% increase if you're doing the math at home. This isn't even a Shadowmoor rare that's yet to be reprinted. It's a common. Yeah, even Shadowmoor commons can spike aggressively now, apparently. It doesn't happen often anymore, but I'm going to use my one per video. During this time in Magic, there was a recession in the game. Less packs were cracked. So when people start paying attention to a card from this block, especially when it hasn't been reprinted anywhere else, it tends to spike. So why are people paying attention to this right now? Sure, it can see a little commander play. Sometimes it appears in Nekuzar the Mindraiser, for example, but the spike you see here is really caused by a Magic the Gathering Final Fantasy preview card. I'm already seeing Helm of the Ghastlord appearing in some deck lists around the front-facing commander previewed from the Final Fantasy Scions and Spellcraft commander deck, that is Y'shtola Knights Blessed. And finally, coming in at number 1 is Piracy. The starter 1999 copy is up $24.75 to $60.10. That's a 70% increase. The Portal Second Age copy is up $60.41 to $115.50. That's a 110% increase. Occasionally, I see this appear in random commander decks, but it doesn't see much play to speak of. This spike simply looks like the result of a targeted buyout. Copies of this have been disappearing for a little while. At some point, they'll return to the marketplace, and when that happens, the price will retract. Alright, that's going to do it for this episode of the Magic the Gathering Market Watch. But join us later this week for a special episode of the Market Watch where we're going to look at all of the Morningtide rares that have yet to be reprinted. We did this a few weeks back with Lorwyn, and coming up in the future, we will hit Shadow War and Eventide as well. Until next time though, hey, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please give us a like and subscribe, and have a great day. Hey, thanks for watching. This video is made possible through the generous support of viewers like you on Patreon. Check out the description below for links to our Patreon page as well as our Amazon affiliate store, where a small percentage of all sales will also help support the channel. Finally, if you haven't had a chance yet to subscribe, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of the new videos on Heroes and Legends. Talk to you again soon, and have a great day.